Okay, everybody, so welcome back. This is Ian. It is the 2nd of December, 2025. I'm going to actually record a new private audio course on curating content for agencies, artists, authors, and entrepreneurs in 2026. I really think with all of the sort of panic that people are experiencing, about creative work, writing, teaching, creating content, etc., that one of the enduring and infinitely elastic ideas here that or areas of expertise is content curation or taste preference, being able to share content with your clients, with your community that actually represents your own sort of immersion or expertise in a given area. And I'm going to show you how I curate content with some different tools that I think are really, really helpful for creators, authors, artists, and entrepreneurs, of which I sort of count myself a little bit in each bucket. So I know some people who are paying attention to this content are authors, others are artists, and still more are agencies and entrepreneurs, which is generally my day job. But I really like to think that all of these processes work regardless of which bucket you place yourself within. All right, so this particular tool is called Milanote. I'm going to show you how I use it really quickly to curate content. Then we're going to cover some other tools as well. But I'm going to actually do, again, an audio course that you can sign up for. And then I'm going to augment or supplement that audio those audio lessons with more real-time video tutorials like these. And you can actually ask me anything that you'd like me to cover, and I'll do some video walkthroughs of those as well. All right, so I'm going to put the microphone down. I'm going to continue to do this work in an extemporaneous way, and you can follow along. And if the microphone or if the audio content suffers, it's just by dint of where I'm positioning my recording device on my desk. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to actually show you in real time. Let's pull up Substack. This is my Substack. So let's go really quickly, or the back end of my Substack. Let's go. I'm going to pull up an article that I just published a couple days ago. If you can see my screen, let me see if I can drag this down a little bit. Okay. Oh, I think I just messed that up. Let's drag it down a little bit here. So you can see this right here is the Milanote extension. You can also see there's a Milanote save button there on the left. It actually kind of is annoying because Pinterest always seems to pop up as well, which I use very infrequently. And I just haven't found the time to remove that from my extension bar. But it always seems to make it kind of play hide and seek with the Milanote save. So I just use the one right here. Hopefully you can still see that in the browser bar. And you'll see, here's my article now. We're saving to my main board on Milanote. All right, and if we go into Milanote, let's see, if I go back to my home, you'll see this new article right here. All right, and then I would organize this, let's say, all right, now I drag this in there. Keep on dragging the picture rather than the whole thing. And now everything from now on would be saved into this particular board if I want it to be. All right, so let's go here, because I'm actually now doing I'm participating in a community project, a writing project. I'm agnostic about this, but on sort of these extraordinary experiences, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, apparitions, or after-death experiences that people have. I'm very interested in this whole topic as a meditator and someone who's experimented with psychedelics for many years. I'm interested in this topic, but I'm also quite agnostic relative to what most people tend to believe, or at least in this space, what they tend to believe. So I'm looking for smart books that we can recommend to our community on, some of the better evidence or things that are worth reading about life that may be beyond, or mind being beyond a brain. All right, so let's look at this one here. I know this author, Deborah Blum, is very smart. She's won a Pulitzer Prize, or at least she was nominated for one. So we're going to save this. Now you can see here, I can save the book, right? So we're going to go to new project. We'll save it right to that board. And let's continue to look. Let's see. The Witch of Lime Street. I believe this is another smart book on Houdini, who investigated, was very skeptical, investigated, mediums and tried to expose them as frauds. So let's pick this one as well. Again, we're just going to save this here. You can see it's going to save to the new project board. All right, and we can just continue to build out. Now, if I go back to this project board, you're going to see we got some books here that are ready to recommend. I can drag these around a little bit. All right, now the thing that's very cool about Milanote is you can actually turn these boards into PDFs, images, and you can do all sorts of other cool things with them as well. But for this, let's say we're going to turn this into a PDF, just these 3 files, which ordinarily I wouldn't do. But if I pull just those up here, and I go here, I have this little PDF with links to my own writing on Substack and these 2 books we just captured, and I could share these with my audience, right? So now I could start to actually incorporate these into a newsletter, into a Substack, into a product, a Gumroad product, etc. Now I've actually done this process, which is now taking me just a couple minutes, right? Let's go back to Substack main, and then I've recommended a shit ton of different people, products, places, etc. That have become products, right? Tiny products that people have actually paid for, right? So you can actually look at something like this, save this. We're going to save this back to the same board, right? It'll link back to that person, so the attribution piece is already done. Let's go away from this. Let's say real quick, let me do this. I am going to all right, now again, I'm very agnostic, so I'm kind of running a risk here because I'm doing these topics that I'm not necessarily super big believers in. But let's say I wanted to add people in like a directory style format to a Milanote board, right? Which is a great. All right, so Scotty the Medium. Scotty, I have no idea who you are, buddy. You kind of look like a nice guy, so let's just add Scotty. Now we're going to add him, right? So you can start to actually create like a directory using curated content. Let's now go to his Twitter. All right, that's my Twitter account for this particular project. Actually, yeah, his Twitter leads to like nothing. It leads to WordPress's Twitter, which means the website he's using is WordPress, and he just didn't figure that out. So, sorry, Scotty. So let's type in Dean Radin, who's a scientist who does work in this field as well. He's a physicist who I happen to think is fairly smart on this subject, and I enjoy listening to him sort of speak about some of the evidence for extraordinary experiences. All right, let's go here. It's going to pull up YouTube. I'm going to save this.
Dr. Radin, it is truly an honor to have you with me on Transcendence.
Now let's look at,
for more than 4 decades, you have explored areas of...
Let's get away from that. Let's see if we can save I mean, again, this is all just obviously for illustrative purposes. You would be doing this for whatever niche market, vertical industry, or topic you're interested in, not psychic experiences. I just happen to be doing a project in December and into next year that sort of corresponds with this particular topic and area of interest. All right, let's go to this Substack here. Let's save it. We're going to save this again to December's board. Let's go back into December's board. Now you can see how we're starting to flesh this out a little bit. All right, and then you can start to make some sort of cool edits to the way this looks, which there are templates for that as well. Right now it's a little messy, but you would just organize this. You can create a column here and drag these in here. So they start getting very All right, we're going to go back to Scotty the Medium, who we don't know. But for this video, he's our default recommendation. Scotty, good work out of you. Keep up the good work, buddy. All right, here are some Substacks. So you can just continue. You can leave a comment here that says, all right, don't know Scotty, but he has kind eyes. That's a true statement. All right, some books, etc. So we're going to continue to build this sort of stuff out, but I'm going to do this via audio, and I'm going to do some walkthroughs using video like this. I'll post a link to the audio course below, but we're going to do this with Notion. We're going to do this with Ghost, no pun intended. We're going to do this with Milanote and with another service called Sublime. And I'm going to continue to document this entire process using both audio lessons and some video walkthroughs. And you'll have access to all of this if you're interested over the course of the month. There's no way, there's no better way than content curation for quickly creating courses, digital products, and building a brand that actually sort of expresses and exemplifies your own experiences and expertise within a given niche or market or vertical. And it can't be, AI or some sort of algorithmic, intervention can't be a substitute for human curated taste and preference and experience. And this is why I'm so bullish and stoked that I think content curation will really remain one of the absolute evergreen quintessential strategies for creators, authors, artists, and entrepreneurs like ourselves. And again, also for agencies who are looking to curate tools and recommendations. And there's a lot of gravitas that can be earned by dint of doing recommendations that are all curated, recommended tools, recommended tips, recommended tutorials, etc. Okay, teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. I'm going to publish this to YouTube, and for those who want to sign up for the course, you can actually grab the link below. Thanks so much. As always, I appreciate you, and have a wonderful day.